Miracles have always fascinated us. Some are so unbelievable that if they were not filmed, no one would believe them. I was like, wow, that is an angel. From the survival of a girl run over by a speeding car to the Padre Pio stigmata that never heals, these miracles challenge what we know about reality. Stick around as we explore 17 miracles caught on camera and spotted in real life. Number 17. The miracle of the sun. Ah, the sun. We often take it for granted, but imagine if one day it decided to put on a show. That's exactly what happened in Fatima, Portugal, a moment so astonishing that if this miracle was not filmed, no one would believe it. On October 13th, 1917, amidst the First World War's gloom, thousands gathered at Cova da Iria, drawn by promises of a divine appearance. 3 shepherd children claimed that the Virgin Mary had foretold a miracle on this date. What unfolded was beyond imagination. The miracle of the sun began as the rain-soaked clouds parted, revealing the sun as never seen before. Witnesses reported seeing it dance, yes, dance in the sky. Colors radiated from its core like a cosmic kaleidoscope. Some claimed it careened toward Earth before settling back into its celestial slot. Over 70,000 people witnessed the spectacle, an event making history not just for its scale, but its defiance of logic. Many reported staring directly at the sun without being blinded, a feat unheard of under normal circumstances. The sheer number of eyewitnesses makes it one of modern history's most remarkable religious events. People were left in awe. The believers saw it as a confirmation of their faith. Skeptics scratched their heads in disbelief. Was it divine intervention or an optical illusion? The debate continues to this day. For devout Catholics and curious onlookers alike, this event reinforced beliefs in divine phenomena and opened conversations about faith's role in our lives. It challenged skeptics to reconsider the boundaries between science and spirituality. If you thought the sun dancing was weird, wait until you hear about spontaneous fire coming out of one of the most famous coffins in the world. Number 16. The Holy Fire Miracle. Our journey into miracles lands us in the heart of Jerusalem. This ancient city, rich in history and spiritual significance, becomes the stage for an extraordinary event. Picture standing amidst a crowd of hopeful believers on Easter Saturday at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. The air is filled with anticipation. And then, in a moment that defies explanation, flames ignite spontaneously from the tomb of Jesus Christ. Every year, during the Orthodox Christian celebration of Easter, this miraculous fire lights up the candles of priests and worshippers. In 2022, modern technology joined ancient tradition as cameras captured this ethereal event, showing flames spreading without any visible source of ignition. A sight that leaves both believers and skeptics in wonder. The Holy Fire miracle is not just a contemporary phenomenon, its roots stretch deep into history. The first recorded mention dates back to the 9th century. Pilgrims through the ages have chronicled their journeys to witness this sacred flame. For those present, it's not merely about seeing light, but experiencing a profound sense of divine presence. The ritual symbolizes the resurrection of Christ and is considered one of Christianity's oldest traditions. It serves as a bridge connecting centuries-old faith with modern belief. Testimonies from those who've experienced this miracle firsthand are compelling. Many describe an overwhelming peace washing over them as they watch their candles ignite seemingly by divine intervention. The holy fire emanating from the tomb illuminates the depths of faith. Another remarkable phenomenon echoing through the halls of history whispers of miraculous healings. Number 15. Mother Teresa's healing miracle. When it comes to miracles, nothing stirs the human spirit quite like the power of healing. Miraculous healings have captivated hearts for centuries, and one such story left the world in awe when a woman's tumor vanished after a prayer to none other than Mother Teresa. The glow of divine intervention didn't just illuminate the skies, it found its way into the humble streets of Kolkata, India, where a small Albanian nun devoted her life to serving the poorest of the poorest of the poor. Known affectionately as Mother Teresa, she was more than just a beacon of hope. She became synonymous with healing miracles that transcended earthly understanding. In 2002, an extraordinary occurrence captured both hearts and headlines when Monica Bezra, a woman with a large abdominal tumor, experienced what many call a miracle. After praying fervently to Mother Teresa and placing a medallion bearing her image on her stomach, Monica's tumor vanished without a trace. This astounding recovery was not just whispered among the faithful, it was confirmed by medical examinations at the hospital soon after, a piece of evidence of what some believe is divine intervention. Stories like Monica's are not solitary echoes in the halls of faith. Throughout Mother Teresa's life and beyond, numerous accounts have surfaced about miraculous healings attributed to her intercession, from inexplicable recoveries to profound conversions. These stories have painted Mother Teresa not only as a saintly figure but as a vessel through which many believe God's grace flowed freely. The Vatican took notice of these remarkable events, leading to Mother Teresa's canonization as a saint. Her life's work and these attributed miracles dramatically shifted perceptions, igniting faith in believers around the globe and sparking conversations among skeptics. After witnessing Mother Teresa's healing miracle, let's explore the story of another intervention, but this time by a celestial being. Number 14. Hospital Miracle. The Guardian Angel on CCTV. Nothing will prepare you for a miracle where a celestial being interferes directly to restore life to a girl medically declared dead. If this event wasn't captured on CCTV, many would have their doubts. This was the situation for one family whose lives were about to be forever changed by an unexpected visitor, a guardian angel. In a busy hospital, a little girl lay on life support. Her parents, overwhelmed by an unimaginable decision, had decided to let her go after trying every medical option available. But that night, something extraordinary happened. As if it were part of a scripted story, the girl's mother, keeping a painful watch over her daughter, saw a supernatural figure at the door, a guardian angel, or so she believed. This wasn't just in her mind, it was recorded on CCTV footage and captured on her phone. If these miracles weren't filmed, skeptics might say they were just made-up stories. But there it was, the glowing outline of an angelic presence right outside the room. By morning, against all medical predictions and logic, the child showed signs of getting better. Doctors and nurses were left speechless, struggling to understand what could only be described as a miraculous rescue. Having an angel restore the life of a young girl is quite a spectacle. But our next story will leave you wondering if this was fate at play again. Number 13. Boy and grandma run over by a car. In the blink of an eye, life can feel like a fragile thread, ready to snap at any moment. For a young boy and his grandmother, that thread should have torn when they were struck by a speeding car. Yet, like leaves caught in a sudden gust, they were swept out of harm's way, emerging without a single mark. It was a moment that defied reason, as if some unseen force cradled them in safety. The story of a boy and his grandmother unfolds as they walk back from the market, carrying bags and sharing laughter. An ordinary day quickly turns into an extraordinary event when fate decides to test their strength. A car, losing control, crashes into another parked vehicle, sending both hurtling toward our unsuspecting duo. The video footage is not for the faint-hearted, it's a heart-stopping moment as the cars barrel over them. Yet, against all odds, a miraculous survival story unfolds right before our eyes. The boy is seen rising almost immediately from what could have been his endgame, brushing off dust and disbelief alike. His grandmother takes a moment longer but eventually stands. Defying logic and medical expectations, both escape with minor scratches, leaving onlookers and rescuers amazed at their apparent invincibility. The hospital visit confirms what seemed unfathomable: no significant injuries. Number 12. Balloon comforts grieving mother. The story of a boy and his grandmother surviving a car accident leaves us pondering the cosmic threads that bind our existence. Yet, as one tale of survival closes, an even more heart-touching narrative unfolds, this time in the Philippines, a place where grief was momentarily lifted by an unlikely object. This is the setting of a memorial service in the Philippines for a child gone too soon. The air was thick with sorrow as friends and family gathered to bid farewell to an innocent soul. Among them stood a mother, her heart heavy with longing and loss. Just when despair threatened to engulf her entirely, something extraordinary happened. A single balloon broke free from its tethered bunch and drifted toward her as though guided by an unseen hand. Witnesses to this seemingly ordinary yet profoundly moving event described it as surreal. The balloon floated gracefully through the air, pausing at the mother's side before resting gently next to her. At that moment, it was as if time held its breath, allowing her a brief respite from her sorrow. As if a sign from beyond, a grieving mother found comfort in an unexpected moment, a balloon drifting toward her at her son's funeral. But what happens next will leave you questioning reality. Number 11. Little girl run over by a car. In a world where reality often feels predictable, an extraordinary tale of survival shattered expectations in a bustling neighborhood. On what seemed like an ordinary day, an incredible story of survival unfolded in a busy neighborhood. A little girl, full of excitement as she rode her bike down the street, unknowingly headed toward a life-changing moment. She was riding her bike on her usual route, laughing as her wheels squeaked along. Suddenly, everything changed as a car unexpectedly swerved into her path. The front tire rolled over her small body, and as people watched in horror, time seemed to slow down. Just when it seemed all hope was lost, something amazing happened. The driver slammed on the brakes, stopping the car just inches away from running over her again with the rear tire. What happened next defied logic and physics alike. The little girl scrambled out from beneath the car with an agility that defied her small stature. She dusted herself off and was about to walk away from what could have been a life-altering event. Her calmness only added to the strange feeling that hung over the street. As reality settled back into place, passers-by rushed to surround her, their faces etched with concern and disbelief. The driver emerged, visibly shaken but equally relieved at this unexpected twist of fate. Attempts were made to check for injuries, yet in this peculiar play of events, not a scratch marked her skin. The neighborhood buzzed with stories of what had occurred. Some called it luck, while others whispered about guardian angels watching over their children. After the little girl miraculously survived being run over by a car, let's switch to another incredible survival story that left everyone amazed. Number 10. The resurrection of John Smith. In a moment of icy despair, a boy lay lifeless beneath the frozen waters of Lake St. Louis, seemingly lost forever. Yet in the depths of grief, a mother's prayer ignited an inexplicable miracle that defied all odds, leaving everyone questioning the boundaries of life and death. John Smith was only 14 years old when he found himself trapped under the icy waters of Lake St. Louis in Missouri. What started as a fun outing quickly turned into a nightmare as John fell through the frozen surface, stuck beneath the snowy water for a long 15 minutes. By the time rescuers pulled him out, he had no pulse, and it seemed like all hope was lost. As John's lifeless body was rushed to the hospital, doctors did everything they could to bring him back. But despite their best efforts, they declared him dead. It appeared that John's journey had come to an unexpected end. However, what happened next defied explanation and left even experienced medical professionals puzzled. In a moment of desperation and faith, Joyce Smith, John's mother, prayed for a miracle. Against all odds and medical understanding, John's heart started beating again. He came back from the brink of death, a miraculous revival that challenged what we thought was possible and renewed faith for those who witnessed it. John's resurrection had a profound impact on those around him. His family members held on to their beliefs even more tightly, while neighbors and community members were left questioning the mysteries of life and death. From this miraculous comeback to life, let's explore a story of a miracle that needed just a shout to happen. Number 9. Mysterious voice. Imagine the chilling sensation of hearing a mysterious voice in the dead of night, calling for help from a place where no voice should exist. This is exactly what happened near the Spanish Fork River. In 2015, Lynn Grosbeck, a 25-year-old mother, was driving with her precious 18-month-old daughter, Lily. A typical drive turned tragic when their car struck a stone, veering off a bridge and into the icy waters below. The vehicle lay submerged in the river until the next day. As fate would have it, fishermen discovered the wreckage and alerted authorities at noon the following day. When police officers and firefighters arrived on the scene, they faced a daunting task: overturning the vehicle to see if anyone had survived. As they worked against time and tide, something inexplicable happened. A voice called out for help. It was a plea so distinct and urgent that it motivated everyone present to work even harder. "Help me," echoed through the air, defying logic since Lynn had long passed away within that metal coffin beneath the water's surface. Miraculously, young Lily was found alive against all odds, her fragile body having endured nearly 14 hours in freezing conditions. Medical teams quickly attended to her needs while grappling with an unsettling question whose voice had pierced through that fateful moment. Speculation ran wild. Some believed it was divine intervention or a guardian spirit watching over Lily. Others wondered if it was simply an auditory illusion born out of desperation. What remains undeniable is how this voice sparked an unexplainable event, a survival miracle fueling debates about faith, destiny, and unseen forces guiding our lives. Number 8. The miracle of weeping statues. When whispers from the divine reach the realm of the living, they often choose the most unexpected messengers. What if a statue, seemingly carved from stone, suddenly began to shed tears, defying all scientific explanation? This is not a scene from an animated children's series, this was the reality that played out in 2016. A small town found itself at the center of a miraculous spectacle that defied explanation. A statue of Mary, serene as ever yet mysteriously shedding tears, drew curious crowds from miles around. The faithful regarded these tears as sacred, perhaps a divine message or blessing. Witnesses claimed that if these miracles were not filmed, no one would believe them. The sight was both humbling and haunting, a silent stone figure expressing sorrow in a way that transcends human understanding. The phenomenon of weeping statues isn't new, it has been reported numerous times across various locations and epochs. Yet each instance prompts a collision between faith-based interpretations and scientific scrutiny. Researchers have often swooped in with tools and theories, seeking logical explanations for what many consider miraculous. Some scientists propose that environmental factors, such as condensation or chemical reactions, might cause liquid to appear on statues. But one wonders why this phenomenon consistently occurs near the eyes and nowhere else. Believers argue these tears are manifestations of divine intervention or celestial warnings meant to guide humanity. When it comes to defying science, teardrops from stone do that well. But our next story defies human expectations. Number 7. The incorruptible body of Saint Bernadette. Among the stories of divine intervention and mysterious events, there's a miracle that challenges the laws of nature: the incorruptible body of Saint Bernadette Soubirous. Imagine this: a young peasant girl from Lourdes, France, who lived a life of humility and faith, becomes one of Catholicism's most astonishing miracles. Saint Bernadette's story is simple yet filled with devotion. Born into poverty in 1844, she is best known for her visions of the Virgin Mary at Lourdes, a series of apparitions that turned this quiet town into a site of pilgrimage. Her life, though short-lived, was filled with grace and piety, leaving an unforgettable impact on her faith community. In 1879, Bernadette passed away at the age of 35. But her story didn't end there. Over 30 years later, when her body was exhumed as part of the canonization process, something incredible was discovered. Her body had remained perfectly preserved, untouched by decay, even though it was never embalmed. This phenomenon left medical experts amazed. They examined her remains and confirmed that there was no natural decomposition, a fact they called a scientific mystery. For believers, it stands as proof of her holiness and divine favor, inspiring awe and reverence throughout Catholicism. Incorruptibility is seen as a sign of holiness within Catholic tradition. Number 6. Child wakes up at her own funeral. Decades after her burial, the body of Saint Bernadette remained untouched by time, leaving the world in awe. But what happened next was even more startling, a moment so unbelievable that it made people question everything. Imagine the profound silence of a funeral, only to be shattered by the miraculous gasp of breath from a child once thought lost. Such was the scene in an obscure village where a 3-year-old girl, declared medically dead, left mourners astounded as she stirred back to life during her funeral. This bewildering episode swiftly inscribed itself into the annals of inexplicable events, leaving both witnesses and skeptics in awe. In this astounding tale, the family had already endured the agony of losing their young daughter. Doctors had pronounced her dead after a severe illness, and preparations for her final farewell were underway. The ceremony was somber, a gathering of loved ones soaked in grief. It was then that an unexpected miracle unfolded. The child awoke, if only for a brief moment, breathing life into what seemed like a hopeless situation. Just as she was about to be committed to Mother Earth, a relative claimed to hear a noise coming from the casket. It was a shocking moment as the casket was opened and the girl's head moved. Thereafter, she returned to her cold state. This event sparked intense discussions about near-death experiences and cultural beliefs surrounding death and resurrection. In many cultures, such occurrences are seen as divine intervention or spiritual awakening, signs that transcend human understanding. Witnesses described it as nothing short of miraculous, emphasizing that if this miracle were not filmed, skepticism would have prevailed over belief. Number 5. The miracle of the Chilean miners. Buried beneath the earth with no way out, 33 miners faced an unimaginable ordeal. In 2010, a sudden landslide sealed them deep inside the San Jose mine in Chile. For over 2 months, they battled hunger, heat, and darkness, their fate uncertain. Yet what happened next would defy all expectations, becoming one of the most remarkable survival stories the world had ever witnessed. For 69 long days, these miners were stuck in the dark with limited food and water. Their situation was dire, with high temperatures and complete isolation making things even worse. But they didn't give up. They relied on their strength and faith to keep going, turning despair into hope. Above ground, people from all over the world watched anxiously as a massive rescue operation began. Engineers and experts worked together to figure out how to get the miners out safely. It was a difficult task that involved drilling through solid rock, a process that took weeks. On October 13, 2010, the world held its breath as each miner was brought to the surface in a special capsule called Phoenix. Cameras captured every moment as families were reunited with tears and hugs. It was a real-life miracle that showcased the resilience of the human spirit. While the story of the Chilean miners highlighted a miraculous rescue from beneath the earth, our next story takes us into the realm of the divine, where the wounds of one man left the world searching for answers. Number 4. The Padre Pio Stigmata. What would you do if wounds suddenly appeared on your body, wounds that never healed and only bled, day after day? This bizarre phenomenon, resembling the marks of Christ, was the reality for Padre Pio, an Italian monk whose life was steeped in both deep faith and mysterious miracles. In 1918, while praying in his monastery in San Giovanni Rotondo, Padre Pio experienced something astonishing: stigmata. These were miraculous wounds that appeared on his hands, feet, and side, strikingly similar to those sustained by Jesus during the crucifixion. For over 50 years, they remained visible, bleeding yet uninfected. Confounding medical experts and skeptics alike, these stigmata became a focal point for believers worldwide, drawing thousands who sought not only healing but understanding. Witnesses claimed to have seen these wounds firsthand. If such a miracle had not been filmed or documented through countless testimonies, perhaps it would have drifted into legend. For many followers, these wounds were physical manifestations of a divine connection. Padre Pio's influence extended beyond the miraculous. His teachings emphasized compassion and prayer as paths to spiritual enlightenment. Even after his passing in 1968, his legacy continues to inspire millions worldwide. The stories of healing attributed to him further solidify his place among revered saints. The story of Padre Pio's stigmata reveals a mysterious connection to the divine through wounds that defied all earthly understanding. The next tale centers on a moment of disaster, a collision that should have ended tragically yet somehow saw life prevail against all odds. Number 3. Man survives bike crash. In a moment that defied the laws of chance, a catastrophic collision on a busy Russian street left witnesses in stunned disbelief. A truck, its metal mangled beyond recognition, had just run over a cyclist. Yet when the dust settled, the impossible happened. The story unfolds with a cyclist pedaling down a busy road, his thoughts perhaps lost in the rhythm of his ride. Without warning, chaos erupted. A red saloon car veered off course, colliding violently with an oncoming truck. The scene was nothing short of cinematic, metal crunched against metal, and in the blink of an eye, both vehicles swayed toward the unsuspecting biker. The impact was catastrophic. The truck ran over the cyclist, a sight chilling enough to elicit gasps from any onlooker. Yet what happened next defied logic and challenged our understanding of physics. As the dust settled and silence momentarily descended upon the street, the man emerged from beneath the wreckage. Not only did he stand, he knelt on the asphalt, as if in disbelief or gratitude for his inexplicable survival. captured by CCTV footage and shared widely across social media platforms, this incident quickly became a sensation. Viewers around the globe marveled at how this man had been granted another chance at life, a miracle that seemed to transcend human comprehension. After regaining composure, he walked over to check on the truck driver. Remarkably, despite the dramatic overturning of his vehicle, the driver was found alive amidst twisted metal and shattered glass, a second miracle within minutes. But as incredible as this tale of survival may be, it leads us to another story where an even more mysterious figure, a celestial being, appeared amid danger to save a man from certain death. Number 2. Angel saves man. Just when you think you've seen it all, fate has a way of surprising you in ways you never expected. In another part of town, another cyclist faced an equally precarious situation, one that transcended mere chance and ventured into the realms of the unexplained. As darkness began to creep in and streetlights flickered on, a man rode his bicycle down a quiet road. Lost in thought about the day's events, he felt safe within his own bubble, until he heard the deafening roar of an approaching truck that suddenly veered into his path. CCTV footage captured the incredible series of events. It seemed certain the cyclist would become another tragic statistic. But then, in an unbelievable twist of fate, a mysterious figure dressed in black with white gloves appeared. In the blink of an eye, this unknown individual pulled the cyclist to safety, placing him on the other side of the road. The entire rescue happened so quickly and smoothly that it defies explanation. Many who have seen the footage cannot fathom how such a precise and rapid rescue could be performed by a human. The speed and accuracy required to save the cyclist suggests something beyond normal abilities, a supernatural force at work. It was as if time itself paused for a moment to allow this miraculous act to unfold. Just after saving the man, the mysterious figure was seen walking away as if nothing had happened. The idea that angels walk among us becomes even more fascinating when faced with evidence so compelling. It would be hard to believe without visual proof. Number 1. Face of Jesus on toast bread, a divine message. Imagine starting your morning with a simple breakfast, only to find yourself staring at what seems like a divine revelation. This is exactly what happened to a Florida woman named Diane Dizer. One day, as Diane was preparing her usual toast, she noticed something extraordinary: the face of Jesus imprinted on her toast. This unexpected sight left her both amazed and puzzled. Was it a holy sign, a mere coincidence, or perhaps just a trick of the eye? News of this unusual toast quickly spread, capturing the attention of people far and wide. It didn't take long for the toast to become an icon, sparking debates about its authenticity and significance. In fact, it even went viral online as people shared their thoughts and opinions. But the story doesn't end there. The toast journey took an unexpected turn when it was auctioned off for thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard that right, this slice of bread became an unexpected treasure. Are these occurrences messages from above, or are they simply nature's way of keeping us on our toes? It's worth noting that religious imagery appearing in food is not entirely new. From grilled cheeses to potato chips bearing saintly resemblances, these occurrences have gone viral time and again. Believers often interpret such moments as signs or blessings, while skeptics attribute them to pareidolia, the tendency to perceive familiar patterns where none truly exist. Regardless of interpretation, these moments spark conversations about faith in daily life and remind us that sometimes the simplest things can carry profound meanings.